very warm welcome to the CNBC-TV18 special. I'm Priya, Sheth, and I'm joining you from the corporate headquarters of the Tata Group jewelry, watches and accessories company Titan in Bengaluru. Time to go and discuss strategy as well as growth drivers with the management. To discuss the growth strategies at Tata Group's consumer business as well as the potential for Titan going forward, I have with me Mr. Bhaskar Bhat, who is the Managing Director at Titan. Thank you so much, Mr. Bhat, for joining us today. It's been over 30 years for you at the Tata Group, and you've recently been inducted onto the board as far as Tata Sons is concerned. Wanted to understand your vision as far as the Tata Group's consumer business is concerned, considering the fact that you are the one on the board with the consumer expertise as well.
Well, to be honest, on the Tata Sons Board, it's not even one board meeting old, so I don't really know what the expectations are. So I won't be able to really honestly answer any of these questions. The Tata Group is in so many consumer businesses. It's not about consumer business. It's when you're a director, you're a director. So I've not thought through that, and as of now it is running Titan which is the focus, apart from being on certain other Tata company boards.
You've been a senior leader at the Tata Sons, and recently we've seen a change of guard as well at the Tata Sons. Wanted to understand from your perspective, the Tata Group of 2017, if you look at it at this point in time, do you see it as a more leaner, a more agile organization as of now?
Well, it's still early days. Chairman Chandra has clearly laid out the way of operating as we go forward, and he was here at Titan, and in his address he talked about being more focused and first establishing an aspiration and then following that up with resourcing and following through on that aspiration, structure and strategizing, and then structure and resourcing. So and being more agile, but more importantly I think scaling up businesses to leadership positions in each of their industries. These would be important drivers going forward, and so I expect that all of us will be moving along that path of leadership and scale.
The chairman, when he took over, he also mentioned, as you also said, that collaboration is a very important aspect of Tata Group companies and the businesses, and cutting across verticals is what the key focus of the group is going to be at this point in time. When you specifically look at the consumer cluster as we speak at the Tata Group, we've seen collaborations happening from Titan. We've seen TCS and Tata Chemicals coming together for Tata Swatch, which was the purifier. I wanted to understand whether such collaborations among the businesses will be the way forward for the Tata Group?
I should imagine it will go up in the coming years. There's been collaboration and cooperation amongst select Tata companies. It has increased in pace in the last few years, but I think the chairman's view is we can do much more, much more, and therefore put in place processes and structures for that to happen, and therefore, if we were to take a simple example, I mean, I'm not even saying that's something that we are working on, but at least three companies are in retail, and retail is about space, and if you negotiate together, while the companies go about their businesses on their own, you can get benefits of cooperation and collaboration. So there are things like that which you need a structure and a process. So I believe that can happen.
Talking about structures and processes, when you look at the different consumer businesses under the Tata Group, there is always many of the businesses may not perhaps be a market leader in that segment. Of course, they've established their own identity, but considering that if at all these businesses collaborate together and work together with a sort of structure and process in place, do you think that this could become a one-stop shop or a sort of mega consumer conglomerate as we speak going ahead?
I don't think that leadership comes out of just collaboration. It is an enabler for business excellence and certainly more efficiency, greater efficiency, greater negotiating power. But scale and leadership comes out of other things. It comes out of enterprise, which is ambition, having a scale of ambition.
But speaking specifically about Titan, the company that you've nurtured over the last more than 30 years, of course, at this point in time it has $2 billion as far as revenues are concerned at the end of FY17. And just wanted to understand at this point in time, you've said 15,000 crore rupees is the kind of revenue scalability that you can expect by FY18. But when can we expect a 5 billion kind of number as far as revenues are concerned? Is there a roadmap that you've laid out in terms of 2020, 2025 at Titan?
5 billion is a long way off. I mean, it's a very large number. But it's not too far out as well. We don't have a roadmap for a 5 billion number. But let me give you a few nuances. I think our jewelry business scaling up by 2.5 times by 2022 is one path. Watches similarly, more than doubling itself in 5 years is another path. I think these are two different industries. Now that when you add those up, you get a number. The current construct of the watch industry would mean our growth would be limited. But then we have to think out of the box and see how we can redefine ourselves. I should imagine that the $5 billion dream can be achieved. It may take 7 years. It could take 5 years because we have the GST effect on all our businesses. So if you take today, our turnover is, we closed 13,000 crores, 15,000. So 5 billion is like 32,000, 35,000 crores.
So would 2025 be a reasonable time frame to take?
I think so. If we are not 35,000 crores by 2025, we would not be doing a good job.
Even your margins, I was looking at the quarterly numbers, has hit a multi-quarter high at 11.5%. Want to understand, is that a trajectory that you could look at?
No, that is not all of it. Yes, margin improvement is happening in all our businesses. We are investing in growth, and therefore that kind of margin improvement that you saw will not happen, but it will be more steady.
So what is the range that you're looking at?
Well, we had targeted 10% across all our businesses, and see, typically jewelry has already hit 10%, and which was not the case a few years ago, and it was one of the objectives was to hit the 10%. But now sequential increase, but not necessarily going up significantly because we are investing in the wedding market, which is in a way EBITDA depleting, or a bit depleting. Watches, on the other hand, was at a high in the past, about 6 years back, and had dropped, but now is going back to its legitimate position, which is between 10 and 14%. They dropped below 10. But that 10 to 14% won't happen very soon, because the it all depends on what growth we can achieve.
All right, on that note, we'll take a very short break. There's lots more on the other side.